We are on the air again. Good afternoon, Europe, and welcome to this last keynote of this keynote marathon of the Best Virtual Summit 2020. Today we have with us a guest very special to our organization, the woman who links our NGO to our partner, CEFI. So Clara is an associate professor at Bretagne, teaching industrial and innovation management, marketing of new technology, and entrepreneurship. Besides, she's part of the board of directors of CEFI and head of the Students' Relationship Committee. But Clara is also super interested in engineering education, and she has a lot of experience in this field. Today, Clara is going to talk to us about the A-Step 2030 project, an initiative that aims to understand what skills engineers need to have in 2030 and how these skills can be trained. The project is aligned with the SDGs timeline, and it is special for our NGO as we are also taking part in the dissemination of the outcomes. That's all. Welcome, Clara, to this keynote. The floor is all yours.
Welcome to everybody. I would like to thank you your interest to join my presentation. That will give you an overview of the first results of the A-Step project. First, let me tell some introductory words about the A-Step Erasmus Plus educational research project. This project was initiated by the members of the CEFI Engineering Education Attractiveness Working Group nearly 5 years ago, for the simple reason that we observed a growing interest of our engineering students for sustainability and wanted to develop an attractive and innovative teaching and learning program for sustainability education. That was the core idea of the project. We set up a project consortium composed from 16 full and associated members. In the consortium, we have several academic partners like Aalborg University, Technical University of Dublin, Metropolia University of Applied Sciences of Helsinki, or Bretagne, Aalto University, and Delft University as associated partners. They are academic people. They are representing teachers and researchers in engineering education. However, we wanted a student-centered approach in our project. So we had the good idea to invite the best in the consortium as a full member for representing students' voice. We think that students' participation is very important in your project because we develop a new teaching and learning program for them. So we have to take into consideration students' perception and preferences in it. The project started in September 2018. With three big objectives. The first objective of the project is to investigate the skills and competencies requirement of sustainable development for engineering students, what skill you will need in the future. The second objective is to investigate the intrinsic value, motivation, and preferences of young people, students, adult learners, or of their career choices. And finally, the third objective is to develop a new and innovative learning and teaching practice program. This is the main outcome of the project. And today, I'd like to talk about the result of our study about skills and competencies requirement for sustainable future. In the framework in our first action, we carried out focus groups in Ireland, France, Denmark, and Finland, with 3 target groups of academics, students, and employers, so people who employs a lot of engineering and STEM profession, with the aim to provide insights into research questions under 3 different topics. The first topic was to explore the extent of knowledge of academic students and employers about sustainable development in a general and sustainable development goals in a particular way. The second set of questions was about the current sustainable development related activities within the engineering programs, as we wanted to have an insight of sustainable development integration into the engineering curriculum. And the third was to identify skills and competence requirements for the future, and with the final objective to develop a theoretical framework. So we applied the same research design in each countries and conducted the same analysis, content analysis of our textual data. So I would like to give the results that we find. Our key findings show that energy, environment are the words most associated with sustainable development, connected with other words such as renewable, recycle. These keywords align very clearly to the pillar of environment from the 3 pillars of sustainable development. The 2 other pillars, economy and social, has a lower representation. So environment was overrepresented. We observed also a very clear influence of national policies and initiative in each country, which raised awareness of a particular issues like carbon tax in Ireland, circular economy in Finland, climate and transport in Denmark, or innovation in France. If we take an insight to our result by target group, all the students group produced similar findings. With the little exception of France, because in France the use of word education and management in relation to sustainable development stands out. It could be very surprising that management appears in this context, but it was related to special meanings because it was related with waste management, forest management, energy management, or water management, so it's understandable. For the academic groups and employer groups, our results show a very close similarity with focus on the environmental pillar of the sustainable development. Focus group participants were also asked individually to name any of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The average number identified per person ranged from 2.1 in Ireland, 1.4 in France, 1.3 in Denmark, and 1 in Finland. That was a surprising result because we accepted higher awareness of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. At the first place, goal number 13, on the top of the list, clearly with the greatest number of mention and far exceed awareness of other goals. The second page, very, very good news for best educational department, that it was quality education, and it was a good surprise. Fourth place is clean water and sanitation, and third place, clean water and sanitation, and a little bit surprisingly, gender equality was only on the fourth place. We expected more. If we analyze our results by target groups, our results indicate that academics are the group which are the most familiar with a sustainable development goal. Surprising, as one of the academic noted, it's maybe because today research proposal requires that researchers align their work to the sustainable development goals. So researchers have to know quite well these goals to write a research proposition, research project. The second place, employers. As it was noted in the Irish focus group, it's maybe because of the importance of governmental policy in directing their business model towards the sustainable development goals. And at the last place, students were the third place. Only with the exception with Finnish students who were the most aware of the first place. We asked focus group participants also about the importance of diversity in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The results are comforting. 83% of respondents consider diversity as highly important in the for achieving sustainable development goals, and only 1% answered that's not important. We had very little difference between students, academic, and employers. So this is an encouraging result for our future. We also investigated the question how sustainable development goals are included in the engineering curriculum. And we get very diverse range of view, from not covered at all, or to isolated standalone models, or integrated models, or specific projects which deal with sustainable development. Several barriers was highlighted which prevent the integration of sustainable development in engineering programs, like lack of academic staff conscience about sustainable development importance, or difficulties in changing the engineering curriculum, or finding space in the very charged programs, or the restrictive nature of module choice in some engineering program, or difficulty in recruiting academic staff for it. But on the other side, some opportunities were identified to ameliorate, to improve the curriculum. For example, involve students in the co-creation of the program that we would like to do, or working on a multidisciplinary project, or create new optional lifelong learning programs and modules. Regarding the skill needed from engineers to solve sustainable development goals, many of the focus group outcomes presented both technical and non-technical skills, and highlighted the importance of find a balance between the two. Communication was on the top of the list as the most important skill, followed by technical skills, critical thinking, and also being ethical. That's a very encouraging result also. There were a consensus that technical skills are still deemed important, and students, academics, and employers all agreed that the universities are doing a very good job of producing good technical engineering graduates. As with the word of employers, we take that for granted. So this is a good thing. Several exams were provided on how students could better develop non-technical skills. For example, working with external clients or communities, or working on interdisciplinary project, or working in association in extracurricular activities like BEST. It was an example, and this is a very good example. All this finding was used to develop a new model of engineering skills and attributes required to meeting sustainable development goals. The literature review that we conducted as the first step of the project presented a picture of a future engineer needing a new set of skills. This set of skills which go far beyond traditional engineering skills. The role of the engineering is clearly moving from serving industry into serving society. And this requires engineers to be mindful of the impact of their work and decision, not only on the economic, but both on the society and the environment point of view. Engineers will need new ways of carrying out engineering projects, not on the traditional project management ways. they can no longer focus only on the technical aspects and or in some case on the economic aspects of the project. They have to face the future differently and become a kind of change maker in society and create a high impact on the whole society. Engineers of the future also have to be able to resolve complicated, vague, complex problems, and we'll need to consider multi-perspective views and take into consideration long-term effects, risk, and impact of their decision on the society. So engineers, future next generation of engineers, they need to develop first of all fundamental technical skills, that is usual, new skills like digital skills, research skills, or new approaches in mathematics, for example, and also application skills, including competency skills and competencies like conceptual understanding, problematization, decision making, innovation, or entrepreneurship. Concerning the non-technical skills, engineers of the next generation will need outward and inward facing skills. Outward facing skills, or with other words, people orienting skills like communication, intercultural skills, or collaboration, or inward facing skills. That is related the way of thinking to the way of thinking, like holistic thinking, self-reflection, creativity, or multi-perspective consideration. Also, future engineers have to, at the attitudinal level, have to develop broader sustainability development worldview and specific character and ethical orientation. So this holistic worldview, including global, social, and sustainability awareness, challenging the status quo, or lifelong learning, specific character orientation like curiosity, agility, empathy, adaptability, flexibility, or open-mindedness. And in addition, specific ethical consideration like ethical conscience, personal engagement and agency, or respect for the others, or very important, emotional intelligence. So as the final conclusion, our results show clearly that there is a room for improvement for engineers' sustainable development awareness, as well as taking into consideration the sustainable development goals in engineering curriculum. For the skills development, universities are very performant in technical skills and aptitude development. But they have future challenges for achieving sustainable development goals, for teaching more transversal, or in other words, non-technical skills and competencies. So just in time I finished, and I would be happy to answer to your questions.
Okay, Clara, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing all these super interesting outcomes about the A-STEP 2030 project. I guess you have tackled many interesting things. Well, I guess that one of the key messages was like, yeah, engineers need more skills rather than just this technical. And you at some point you were ranking them communication, yeah, technical skills, critical thinking, and also ethics. Because we're living in a world that actually engineers have a big role to play in the future of society. So I would like to actually get a bit more insight in some of the ideas. The first one could be about diversity. So why exactly, at some point you highlighted diversity, why is diversity so important in sustainability education?
So it's a very interesting question, because logically it was very strange that I started to talk about diversity. Why diversity? So we observed when we asked questions about context of sustainability achievement, participating focus group people who are participating in the focus group, especially students, interpreted diversity like gender diversity and only gender diversity, and other kind of diversity, for example, multicultural diversity or ethnical diversity wasn't taken into consideration at all. So it was quite surprising because for us, for academic people, diversity is much more larger than gender equity. So we try to understand this, and it was very interesting because in the so in France, the focus group was completed at Innsbruck, and Innsbruck is a grande école, so it's considered in France like an elite educational institution, and traditionally there is no high level of diversity. It was contrasted that students from in an elite educational institution had a very high diversity awareness. So we were quite surprised in it. And the opposite side in Ireland, Technical University of Dublin, they have a very high level of diversity, and not only gender diversity, but other diversity. And very interesting that they created a new role with the university, a director of equality, diversity, and inclusion. And we think that there is an impact or awareness for the academic staff and also students about diversity, high level of impact. For students in Aalborg, at Aalborg University, they have a lot of contextualized project, interdisciplinarity, and general awareness. Very interesting that the focus group discussion revealed that these students didn't thought that diversity alone it could be an answer to solving sustainable development goals, but interdisciplinarity was much more important than diversity. And very surprising, in Finland, discussion about diversity, especially in the academic group, revealed that they consider diversity in relation of gender diversity, and they don't think that it's a solution for sustainable development goals. That was a little bit contrasting with the idea of diversity, for example, in Ireland or Denmark or even in France. So it's a huge question, and we could talk about during hours. And we think that like interdisciplinarity, this is one of the point of the Sustainable Development Goals achievement.
Okay, interdisciplinary and diversity. Two of the super interesting topic, and I think in our organization we always talk about it and discuss a bit. We have actually a few questions around this same topic. You have talked to us like the outcomes, what you have found in this project, but what is next? What's going to happen from now on?
So we have a lot of things on, even if we can't see each other and have to stay at home. The work is going on. And our next step is just having the feedback of students about teaching methods and teaching and learning methods. And we are preparing a quantitative survey, and would be very happy if best students would help us to answer which kind of pedagogical approach or approaches applied in your university to teach, and give us a feedback how it happened, and what do you think about this? So we have a survey that will be launched in the next month. I think it's prepared, but we are waiting for just finalizing it. And I would like to ask every participant to help us, because we are working for you, and it's important. But your opinion is very important for us.
Okay, thank you, Clara. Thank you for reminding all our audience. I think it's some sort of transversal message along these yesterday and today, that we students have to have something to say about education, and it's super exciting and gives a lot of hope that there's actually people wanting to hear our opinion and understand that what do we do in the moment, and what we'd like to move on, especially in these terms of learning and teaching methods. I think there's many interesting ideas to tackle. Okay, Clara, said so. We are running out of time. We are heading to this very end. It was very quick. When we're live, time flows at the speed of light. But
I would like just to thank you to everyone to join the presentation, and I would like to congratulate on this organization for educational department members. I am very surprised your capacity to organize this kind of event, and encouraging you to continue this work, because it's highly appreciated for not only for students, for teachers also.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Clara, and thank to you, because Clara has helped us a lot in this organization of the summit, helping us reaching some of the experts that we have brought to you during this week. So thank you, Clara, for your effort and for being here with us and sharing these amazing outcomes of the A-STEP project. And of course, we will do our best to help disseminate this project and the survey, and to make sure to reach students, and to make sure the voice of the students is heard. So we are gonna finish right now this keynote marathon of the Best Virtual Summit. And for all the audience, now we're gonna start what we call closed session. We're gonna have 2 training sessions, one with Erasmus, which is a trainer of the Happiness Academy, and also from our soft skills trainer, Gergana and Sonia. So final reminder, all for you before you leave, there's still some vacancies to apply for the workshop that's gonna happen from Wednesday on. So apply before they run out, because they are super interesting. Some of them are with super cool companies, some other are with our trainers. So don't let this opportunity escape, and go for that. That's all. Stay tuned for more, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.